Welcome back to the Mid-Range Podcast. It is a special episode, an emergency episode. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'm not even gonna do any jokes or anything like that. I'm doing awesome. This is awesome feast week, awesome Thanksgiving week. I'm just doing awesome altogether, and yeah, I'm doing awesome. I'm doing awesome.
I know you are. I'm glad we can hop on and talk now. We are literally minutes off the heels of TCU's win over Wisconsin, so they could win the Randy Childress Invitational in San Diego. And
Rated
if you
children's
didn't
for the kids.
know, Children's for the kids. And if you didn't know, they also beat the reigning champions just yesterday in a massive upset. Huge turnaround for the Frogs. Obviously, we all know they lost week one to University of New Orleans, and I think a lot of people buried them. But Nick, you held strong. I know you. I know you felt there might be some overreactions at the time. And where are you at now with the
I
Frogs?
did.
How excited are you?
I I'm so excited. Like this is
I know. I can see it in your eyes.
this is actually like beyond any expectations. When you schedule Florida and Wisconsin and Providence, you're looking at preseason like damn. Especially when you open with Florida, you're like that's going to be two losses and your
Yeah.
season's going to be over. Like last season we had a feast week and lost by like 20 to Santa Clara and then lost in overtime to Colorado State, and it really felt like the season started to unravel from there. So I
Yeah.
was very nervous coming into this feast week, and especially you mentioned with the New Orleans loss, and like you felt like you were close against Michigan, and like I genuinely last season I tried to stay positive, but it was so apparent that it was just not there. Like the portal pieces they got didn't fit, and there was no real like elite player, and like we were playing true freshmen all over the place, and then this year's season I thought that they addressed the portal and I really well, and I was really excited about the team, and then obviously the New Orleans loss, and yeah, I was big on just like the committee come the end of the year, if you put together quality wins, like I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but they're not going to look at a game on November 4th as like necessarily make or break, most likely.
I mean,
Um,
we could say right now that loss doesn't matter anymore. They
yeah,
beat
I mean,
Florida. Like it doesn't matter. It
yeah,
just doesn't.
it's just I'm genuinely trying to wrap my head around it because TCU doesn't win these
Yeah.
non-conference games. Like
Yeah.
the win against Florida was the first top 10 non-conference win they had since 1986, and Jamie Dixon was the point guard there. Like it's unbelievable, and like to
That's a good
be
stat.
like
That's crazy.
to be so small and to just really just win it based off effort is
Yeah.
so awesome. Like you're just so proud of this team, and I don't know. I genuinely have no words. Like this is. I'm not trying to overreact for a feast week, but it it's unbelievable, and it just completely flips the season around.
You're not overreacting. I mean, think about the way when Bryce was on, we were talking about Tennessee's win over Rutgers, we were talking about Ohio State's win over Notre Dame. It's like this is the best win on the mid-range. Well, I guess this might be
Yeah,
the best win on the mid-range resume. Uh, yeah, it was awesome. I mean, Brock Harding is
so
legitimately one of
good.
the best guards. It's one of the best guards in college basketball. It's unreal how much control he has when he's on the floor. He's a complete point guard with like legit defensive effort level, and then he can shoot it, he can pass, he can finish. I mean, he's so fun to watch. Um, David Punch, I know you're a big David Punch guy.
He's so
It's
good.
awesome. Yeah,
He's
he's
so
unreal
good.
too. Um, yeah, and you know we were texting last night, but I want you to elaborate since we're on the pod now. But you were talking to me about the Jamie Dixon defensive strategy against Florida yesterday, and I want you to run me
And
through it
Wisconsin.
here. Yeah, talk to me about it.
Yeah, it's these wins are even more impressive when you look at the height mismatches because you look at
Right.
let's go to Michigan first. Michigan's one of the best front courts in the country. Florida, they might be the top two front courts in the country, and then Wisconsin is also very tall. So the same scheme kind of worked where you have these guards that like Brock Harding, as you mentioned, his effort level is the highest on the court at all times. Like he's not going to be outworked. So he has a limitless motor, and then they force them to a short corner pass, and they double them, and then Brock and Pierre are so good at digging and Posey and these guys. So where like they try to avoid the one-on-one in the post because Punch is undersized there, and then your four at most times is like a wing piece that's not going to be able to guard like, um, your 6'10" plus guys that these other teams have. So the ability to force them, make it hard on them, play high up, and really pester these guards. Like they haven't had these defensive players last year, and Jamie Dixon teams are best when they're defensive oriented. And the reason they won these games were the turnovers they forced against Florida and Wisconsin to be able to get out in transition and play their game that they wanted to play. And so that was just, it was an all-time defensive scheme for these last three games I'll add because the 4-point loss against Michigan is looking like an unreal, or not unreal, but like not almost a plus
Yeah,
at this
a
point.
good result. Yeah.
Exactly, that boosts all your metrics. So, yeah, the scheme was unreal. I think the players executed it just by effort, and then execution in the half court as well. Like that's all Brock Harding and David Punch. Like Punch is taking that next effort to where he's like Punch is the best big on the court against Florida, and then Brock Harding was the best guard on the court against a Todd Golden-led Florida team with these big-time transfers that are supposed to come in, and Xavier Lee and Boogie Flan to be stars, and a team that had Clayton Richard and Martin last year, and Brock freaking Harding from Iowa is the best guard on the floor and controlling the game. I don't know. It's just unbelievable. This from scheme to effort to execution, and like it's when you're so small, like it's you have to play the certain style and be the highest effort team on the court and execution wise, and they were. So like TCU basketball hasn't been relevant at all for the greater part of the last 2 years, like since the Mike Miles teams.
Right.
And I don't know, it's just cool to have that moment to where you have a
They
top
beat
10
Tech
win.
last year.
And yeah, that was hype, but in I don't know, in the grand scheme of things,
No, I know.
like this could propel you to conversation for an at-large berth, and that's unbelievable. Looking back to where we were a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so I guess on that note, we were talking Big 12 before the season, and obviously you are biased, but you did give an honest perspective of why you think TCU is a tournament team and why you think they will make it. I think after the loss to New Orleans, we kind of all took a step back and we're like, I don't know, maybe this team needs some time, maybe it's development season. But now, after two massive wins and a win over a top 10 team to boot, like, what's the outlook for TCU this season? What should their expectations be from here on out?
I mean, it has to be tournament whenever you put together, like, at the time when they played Florida and Wisconsin, they were both top 20 in Ken Palm. Like those are two quad one wins that you're gonna have under your belt, which is insane to say at this point, coming out of November. But like, it has to be the tournament. This is a good resume. They were 92 in Ken Palm after the New Orleans loss, heading into the San Francisco game, and they're sitting here at 48 just 3 weeks later. Like that's a 44-point jump in 3 weeks. Like their metrics are good, and nobody. Like you can look anywhere on any metric. Nobody had them close to the tournament or even bubble picture. Like it's, you have to be thinking tournament. And again, like 2 wins are gonna like they go right into North Texas and Notre Dame coming up. So those are two big games as well. But I mean, if you take care of business there, which I mean they're at home and pretty much home, with North Texas playing at Dickey's down the street, like. They should be favored in both those games. They should expect to win both those games, and if they do, then it's very, very strong. You should be expectations for a tournament, and then I think you can reasonably go upper half of the Big 12 at this point. Again, we're fresh, literally half hour removed from
Yeah.
this rated children's win,
Yeah.
but I'm stoked. I'm stoked.
But that's where I want you. I want you, and if TCU loses one of these games, I want you 10 minutes after. Like, I want you the instant reaction, excitement. Like, I love seeing you so excited about TCU basketball. And it's honestly, like, it does feel like no matter what, like, somehow TCU and you end up being the main character in sports. Like, for, like every
Yeah.
year. Like, there's a moment like this
Yeah.
where it's just
Well, they
like,
haven't been though. Like the past however
yeah,
many, the past 2 years. Like I don't
that's
know.
true.
It just plus the whole like Dixon thing. Like everybody's been on him so hard for these past couple of
Yeah.
years, and like he's like I love TC1's basketball so much as well, but it almost seems like they've gotten like this pedestal where like men's basketball has been in the rearview mirror of all TCU sports, which it
Right.
and like even NIL wise, he's probably on the short end of the stick with resources, and to be able to like make Brock Harding this the star of the MVP of the Rated Children's
Yeah.
Invitational, and to retain David Punch, like David Punch could have gone so many places after his freshman year. I don't know. It's just such a credit to
I
him to be
mean,
able to
I
scheme
think we
that.
do have to put in perspective. Like Brock Harding was like a good player for Iowa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're not even
He
talking
wasn't
about like
even-
he wasn't even the best player on Iowa, and they didn't make
Yeah,
the
and
tournament.
Iowa didn't even. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like it is massive, 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 massive credit to Jamie Dixon, and it's massive credit to Brock Harding too, because that guy's really fucking good, and like he is like, I mean, he is a guy that can lead a college basketball team to some success. Like he's just such a dog, like so tough, so hardworking, so high effort. He is just like quintessential, exactly what you want out of your college best player. And yeah, I'm pumped. I mean, I'm pumped for TCU as well. You know, I'm definitely. It's great. I mean, I never thought in a million years that they were gonna win. They were gonna beat Florida. Like
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, when they came close against Michigan, and also, well, let's transition here because this is a good way to do it. When they lost to Michigan by 4, my overwhelming thoughts coming out of that game was Michigan sucks. I was like, oh, Michigan's not that good. They're going down to the wire with TCU. They have no guards. And then Michigan comes into this players era and kicks the shit out of everybody. Like complete dominance. Who they play off the top of my head? I know they killed Gonzaga in the championship.
Auburn,
San Diego
Gonzaga.
State, Auburn. Right. In just 30-point wins, and then 40 in the championship against Gonzaga, where I was telling everybody I thought Gonzaga was 1,000% going to win. And, like, Michigan now, in putting this in context with TCU, obviously, because they beat TCU by 4 in TCU at the shot, or at the shoal.
Shoal.
Yeah. But here we're sitting now, and Michigan's the best team in the. I mean, they're the best team in the country, right? Like, I don't know, like how
the
else
best
you can put
resume,
it.
probably.
Best resume for sure.
Yeah.
Like that win over.
I think them,
Gonzaga,
Purdue, Arizona. You probably have to still throw in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's just
they're up there though.
I mean, you beat Gonzaga by 40 points in the Players Era Championship. Just like completely dominate them in like. You know, they had some growing pains. Like, they went to overtime with Wake Forest, but Wake Forest also, like, might be decent. And, like, TCU obviously might be a team because, like, they're going and beating Florida. So it's like, if you're Michigan now, like, you're totally refocusing now, and you're thinking, like, we're a national championship contender, if not the best team in the country. But I'd love to hear if you got anything on Michigan specifically. I know you were pretty high on them coming into the season.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that there was a reason that they were whatever they were preseason, like their top 10, whatever they were. And then like, it's so funny watching like the first couple weeks of the season. nobody has it figured out. Like very rarely, and especially teams that are so heavy on the portal. Like you lose Danny Wolf and um,
Right.
Vi Golden and all these guys, and there it takes time to mesh. But their talent is as good as anybody in the country. And Yaxel has transformed from when he was at UAB, he was more of a big,
Yeah.
and then like NBA scouts told him that he should be more of a wing guy and be an elite 3-and-D guy, and that's what he's playing now at Michigan because they're forced to with the three big system, and it
Right.
helps his pro career and it helps him too, and he's figured it out to be one of the I think he's a top 3 player in the country. Elliot Cadeau has improved. Like the guard play is obviously no question, but when you have all this talent, and have this
Yeah.
dominating size, like you can control the game from that sense. And
Right.
yeah, McKenny's been good as a freshman, and Gale, and it all clicked. Like they're not going to be that good all season. Like everything clicked for this. We see these MTEs. Like again, what probably helped TCU, for example, is playing the next day, riding the momentum. Like these 3 games in 3 days helps
sure.
hot teams and hurts cold teams. So like they're not 40 points better than Gonzaga, obviously, but I mean
Right.
they're legit and they could not very easily, but I mean yeah, you mentioned like they're right there with anybody in the country, and they're a national. They were rightfully so a national title contender coming into the
Right.
year, and their talent's showing. Anytime you have Mara and Morez, and I mean you can go list all the
Dude,
names, and Yaxel's the star. Like
Mara
it's
Mara might be one of my favorite players in the country right now. Like watching him play is just so absurd. Like he's just like a joke out there. Just like it's like every time he touches the ball goes in the basket. Like it just he doesn't miss
yeah.
shots because he's just so big. And then defensively, he's
Yeah.
averaging 2.7 blocks a game. Like the thing is, like we said this when that game was so close against TCU, and we said this after Wake Forest, and I said it on Twitter. I said like I don't know about Michigan. I don't know about Michigan. The guard play doesn't matter if you don't like if they're this good in the forward spot. If Yaxel is this good with the ball in his hands, and if like you know you're getting it inside and just completely dominating inside against Gonzaga, who is a great front court too. Like that is a strong front court. That's a strong team.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's
Like
crazy.
their front
Like
court's been hyped up. Yeah.
yeah, and like you said, like you don't want to overhype these early season games, and you don't want to. And like you mentioned, like you get into a run in an MTE, especially where you're just winning and you just are in the flow state, right? But it's like, man, if anyone else was in that same flow state, it was Gonzaga. If anyone else
Yeah.
has been destroying teams for the first month of the season, it was Gonzaga, and they went up against Michigan in Vegas and got completely destroyed. Like, I am throwing out the Wake Forest game and the TCU game, and I'm not actually I shouldn't say I'm throwing it out. I just think Wake Forest. I mean, Wake
Yeah,
Forest
and
lost
TCU
by
are
one
not
to
bad.
Texas Tech, and then TCU went and beat Florida. So it's like
Yeah.
those were good teams, and like
They're good teams, yeah.
Michigan might have been a little over. It might have been. I think I will say right now I went too far in saying that they weren't that great. They are that great. And they were 1,000% a national championship contender. So I will just put that on the record right now. I'm back in on Michigan 100%. Like they're awesome. But yeah, I'll tell you a team that I am gonna continue my questioning of, which is Houston. Houston is 7-1 on the season. They go into the Players era. They win in overtime against Syracuse, and then they lose by 3 to Tennessee. They beat Notre Dame by 10 in a consolation game. But I just never thought they looked great in the Players era. And they've had some close results. Lose by 1 to Auburn earlier in the season. And I don't know. I just feel like this Houston team doesn't quite have the juice that they've had in the past, despite the fact that they're 7-1 and probably still going to be a top 10 team in the country. But Nick, am I misguided by questioning Houston here, or what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a little worried as well, and worried with a grain of salt because they're still really
Yeah,
good
of
and they're still
course.
like
Quotation marks.
in terms of like national championship good.
Yeah.
I truly am a little worried because I think you miss like Jawan Roberts offensively and Javier Francis and LJ Cryer. Like these are big losses, and I think it's a little more similar to my Tech take than I would have liked. Like you
Yeah.
lose all these guys, and like the freshmen are really good, so they're much better than the guys Tech
Right.
brought in. But like from a big man perspective, especially, CNAC has been very inconsistent. I know he's a freshman, so you take
Yeah.
like freshmen obviously get better a ton throughout the rest
Sure.
of the season, more development than the average player. But like JoJo Tugler has no offensive game. I know he was decent against Notre
Yeah.
Dame, but and he's a little undersized, but
I mean, he never
like
has,
you're
right? He really never
yeah,
has
he
been an
never has
offensive
exactly.
player at all.
Exactly. Yeah. And the one thing too, I know Flemings didn't play good against Notre Dame, but Kingston Flemings is probably already their best player. So like it's not
Yeah.
like a wait and
I agree.
see for these freshmen. Like they don't have the depth of outside like Uzan and Sharp are gonna be good. But like Flemings is already there, so you're not counting on him to progress a ton towards the end of the year because he was already like you watch them play and they're like he's that dude. So you're not waiting and seeing anymore. Like you have and look, they're still really good and they still could easily win the Big 12. But I don't know if I'm putting them in the category of national championship contender because they just haven't shown that consistency yet, and I don't think they have enough like offensive star power um, to be there on nights when elite teams against them are hitting shots.
I love that you specifically mentioned Flemings because, like, I think that point is really like something you got to hammer home because I think going into the season, our biggest questions with Houston were like, are these freshmen gonna be good enough to take them to the next level? And we both said probably, and they're probably still the best team in the country. The reality of it is, Seneca has not been perfect, but he's been pretty good, and Flemings has been awesome. Like one of the
Yeah,
best, like so awesome. I love like he's been one of my favorite players to watch as well this season, and it hasn't really mattered from a perspective of like they're still going down to the wire with Auburn. They're still like that Notre Dame game ended in 10 points. It was a close game. It wasn't like they blew them out of the water by any means. Like they're just not blowing teams out. They're not dominating any of these games. And then you go and lose to Tennessee, who turns around and loses to Kansas without DP the next day. So it's like there's a lot of questions I think with Houston because like you said, the freshman question has been answered. One of them is elite and is awesome and is so exciting. And Senek is not bad either, and he's been playing well. The problem is like Uzan has been bad, and Tugler's like you said a non-threat on offense, and that's where it's not going to work if the older guys aren't going to be able to be consistent on offense, and they're not going to be able to play efficient basketball. And then the flip side of it is it like, man, they let Tennessee beat them outright. Like Tennessee looked really good in that game, and like I don't know. I think that they're 7-1. Their only loss is a 3-point loss to a ranked team. So it's like when you look at it from that perspective, you're like, okay, what are we really talking about here? But if we're just talking about these elite teams, like you said, and kind of reframing our judgment on them, Houston is the one where I just think there's many questions to be asked, and they're not going to probably fall that far. And I think that's a team to look out for to either get to Big 12 play, and maybe you're going to see some losses you wouldn't expect. And I will say this right now, Nick, and maybe you're willing to back me on this, maybe you're not. I'm going to say they're not going to win the Big 12. I'm going to say this is the first time in Houston's time in the Big 12 that they do not win it. I'm not going to say who exactly is going to win it because I'm not sure yet, but I just don't think this team is going to be able to go up against Arizona, Iowa State, BYU, and win these games. Like, I don't see that, personally.
yeah. I'm honestly like I kind of like being. I don't know. I feel like I've kind of been a Houston homer, and
Yeah.
Like I have so much trust in Sampson, but if I'm being honest, like I kind of agree with you where like I would put my like I would bet on Zona and Iowa State and BYU. Again, like you
Right.
said, maybe almost more, which again, like it's all in perspective because of the standard that Houston's been at to where like they're probably what like the seventh to 10th best team in the country instead of like top three, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's a step down from a team that was in the Natty just last year and
Right.
had a lot of preseason one expectations.
Right. Coming to the season second in the country, and they have not looked like a top 5 team in the country. Let's another great pivot here. Let's move on to another team that has definitely not looked like a top 5 team in the country. I don't even know if they've looked like a top 20 team in the country. St. John's. 4-3 in their first 7. Losses to Alabama, and then going down to Iowa State and Auburn in the Players era. Losing to Auburn by 11 points, and they did not. It was ugly, ugly game for them. I think you and I were both pretty all in on St. John's. I think we both had them winning the Big East coming into the season. We're both big Patino guys. Are we backing off St. John's in full force, or are we saying this is just a roadblock on the way to a successful season?
Yeah, their guard defense is like alarming. Like everybody talks about the fact that they don't have a point guard, but like the offense isn't even the struggle right now. I think the number one thing is just being able to defend. It's
They're averaging 92 points a game.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're
like,
4-3. Yeah, like that's
and we talk about like in Jackson has actually been like found a pretty good role as a 6-man and found a role as like a bucket getter. But again, guard defense wise, like they just can't stop anything right now. Like Dylan Darling has not been it at all.
He's not a defensive stopper by any means.
Yeah, like even Sannon and Hopkins, like these guys just don't play defense. Like when they, they're going to be fine in the Big East because the Big East just doesn't have elite teams outside of UConn. But, I mean, you really have to look at their non-conference and be alarming, like, of their potential to do anything because they have Ole Miss at home, and then Kentucky on a neutral. Those are kind of their 2 big ones left. Those are going to be huge because right now their best win is the neutral versus Baylor. We don't know how good Baylor is. Like they've been up and down as well. So if that's like the one win, and they're 1-4 against like relevant teams, like or 1-3 against relevant teams, like that's not again something with the hype of St. John's coming into the year. Like the offense is there. Like Hopkins, when you have Hop and Zuby and Sannon and in Jackson, like these guys are gonna score. And yes, the point guard thing is probably gonna be an issue later down the line. They need to find the guy that's going to be able to handle for him. But right now they got to figure out the defense because it's bad.
No, I think that's a good way to put it. It's like you're not realistically like, oh, we need a point guard for point of attack defense. We need a smaller guy for point of attack defense, right? Like you get a point guard for offense and you get a point guard to slow it down. And like there's been moments, especially late game, where I've said to myself like, man, if they had a point guard that could handle and make a play, that would be massively helpful to them down the stretch. Like, there's definitely been a few times, especially right at the end against Iowa State, I thought to myself, like, man, they need a guard. But, like you said, that really hasn't been an issue in the grand scheme of things. If you're scoring 92 points a game, I mean, they haven't scored under 74, which was their lowest point total against Auburn on Wednesday. That's their lowest point total of the season. Like, they have been scoring without a problem. You're 100% right. It's like their defense has been atrocious. And like Zuby Ejiofor is a great interior defender, and I think he's been just as good as you would have expected him to have been. It has been guard defense has been such a major issue. And like you've played 7 games, you're 4-3, and you've lost to the 3 ranked teams you've played. Like that is a telling situation to be in for St. John's. Like, and I'll tell you what's interesting is like before the season, Rothstein was tweeting like, oh, like I really think these preseason games are going to be important for St. John's to see what they have. I really think they're going to have to figure it out in preseason. And, Rothstein doesn't just tweet to tweet. Like, he realistically, like, he doesn't tweet negative stuff about a team ever. Like, unless it's a buy game
he
tweet
hypes
or
up
whatever.
everybody.
Like, yeah. So if that's happening, I think there's a probably fair to say that something from inside the building, potentially Patino, was telling him, like, we got work to do. And I think this is very telling. Like, you start the season 4-3 and you can't beat a ranked team. It's like, you do have work to do. And, like, you said they're going to go into the Big East, and the Big East does suck. So, ideally, they would run through the table. But I will say, coming into conference play here in the next couple weeks, like, UConn. Like, I am fully backing off my St. John's is going to win the Big East. I'm not, like, going to double down on that now. Like, UConn has looked so much better than them. Yeah. Not just in terms of the record. It's just they've been the better team by a million. And, like, I'm worried about St. John's. I just don't. I think it's a tournament team. I don't know. I don't think it's a Final Four team. And, like, maybe I'm just being like, oh, like, yeah, they're 4-3, so they're not a tournament team. But, like, I don't know. Auburn's not exactly Purdue, right? It's one, you gotta beat Auburn. Like, that's a game you have to win if you're St. John's, especially coming off the loss to Iowa State, who I think we both agree is probably better than the 15th best team in the country, and it's probably going to be a threat in the Big 12. But man, you gotta beat Auburn. You can't lose that game.
Yeah, Auburn's. I mean, they had a good little Players Era appearance though. To be able to bounce back from the 30-point loss against Michigan, like, again,
sure.
you kind of have to credit Pearl there with the ability to get him back and beat a good team in St. John's, and then to get a good win over Oregon, like, as well. So, Auburn's such an interesting team because
it's fascinating.
Like, Pettiford seemed to have finally get it going, and when Pettiford's going, he's up there with anybody. Like, they have NC State next week at home. That'll be a fun game to see, a great litmus test of both teams that are good, but probably need another win to be put into higher categories. They got NC State and then at Arizona. That's going to be a fun week for Auburn because it seemed like they're finally starting to get a little mojo with Keyshawn and Tahad being their 1-2 punch.
Yeah, definitely. That's fair. I do think I'm hesitant to give anyone credit for beating Oregon at the current moment. Like, I think Oregon might just. What'd you say?
I said at Oregon, where 5 stars go to die.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they have been. They go to the Players Era. They lose by 11 to Auburn in their first game. They lose by 17 to San Diego State. And then they lose to Creighton. You can't lose to Creighton. Like, that, you gotta beat Creighton.
Should we have a Wei Lin conversation?
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, Wei Lin was supposed to be like the second coming of Christ coming in college basketball form, and he's made 1, 2, 3. He's made 5 field goals so far this season. Like, Wei Lin's one of the biggest busts. I don't want to say, like, we're 7 games in, but the Wei Lin hype of the preseason was unreal looking at him now. He's, like, unplayable. Like, I don't know. That's just crazy to me. Like, where did this Wei Lin hype come from? Were you high on him?
Are we the only podcast in America having a Wei Lin conversation?
No, I've heard it. Like, I've seen it on X.com.
That's awesome.
Everything up. Because Wei Lin was getting all the mixtapes and all the, like, hype coming into the year.
Yeah. Well,
Wei Lin is
like Chinese basketball, so CBA or whatever.
Yeah,
that is like the highlight farm of all highlight farms. I mean, like, Jimmer goes over there. And
yeah, I'm willing to write off Wei Lin.
I'm glad we're having the Wei Lin conversation.
I think it's one worth having. He's averaging 3 points. You know what he's shooting from the field?
Tell me.
17.2% from the field.
We want to talk another guy about who's shooting like shit from the field and also has something else in common with Waylon.
Oh god. What?
Are we gonna have this
Who?
Xavier Lee conversation?
He kind of balled today though. Did you see his ankle breaker today?
No, I did not see it. The ankle breaker specifically. Is it worth it?
It was unreal. Yeah, but no, the guards look scary. I mean, they were very good against Providence today. Again, like, not to bring it back to the Frogs, but I think the Frog perimeter defense is just like good, like really, really. I think the Frog defense is really good. Because they had off nights and like Xavier Lee dropped 20 today, Boogie Flan had 17.
Yeah, but even today he had 20 on like fine shooting. 7 of 16 shooting. This is not bad
you're right.
by any means, but he is not, like
You're
him
right.
and Fland have just felt like. But honestly, the weird thing about Florida is it's not like their incredible front court has looked that great either. So it's just kind of like they just.
I mean, Micah Robinson bullied Conan on defense.
Yeah,
Like that's just crazy sentence to say, but like.
yeah,
He actually did. Like, he actually shut him down. And when Condon is supposed to be this NBA guy and could have gone to the NBA last year, and, like, you got to step up. And Chinyelu was, like, kind of bullied by Pun. Like, it's crazy, but, like, they have serious issues. Again, like, they had a double-digit win over Providence today, and they're only in the loss.
But what does that mean?
Arizona.
I mean, nothing.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Providence
But, like,
sucks, so.
Let's look at there. We're gonna find a lot more about Florida, and I assume we're gonna talk a lot more about them this next week or this next 2 weeks. They go Duke, UConn, away and semi away, so we'll find out a lot more.
I would be surprised. Yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, to be fair, Duke hasn't. I mean, Duke beat Arkansas last night, big win. They beat Kansas, yes, but they have not exactly played a elite team. Oh, Duke and Michigan State in a couple weeks. That's gonna be awesome. Oh, that's gonna be.
I have a question. I have a question for you though. Let's say hypothetical. Yeah. Florida struggles. Not a great year, or maybe a great year. Whatever happens. If Steve Kerr retires after the season, where there's rumblings of for the Warriors, bring back Todd Golden to the Bay. I'm curious your thoughts. San Francisco ties.
I know he's a San Francisco guy.
Young gun.
Bay Area guy.
NBA style offense. He lives in the Bay Area. Has a house there. I'm just saying. I'm not saying Florida count your days, but like.
Yeah, the question is that his end goal? I mean, I think given his style and the.
I could see him. It's a way better fit than Hurley to the Lakers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because Golden's not some like college. Like he could easily be an NBA guy. His
system's legit. It's pretty unreal.
Question, Nikki.
I'm just saying, like I was thinking about that. Like that would be my choice. That'd be sick.
That would be great. I am trying to think of who else would be on my radar as an option off the top of my head. I mean,
I don't think they'd hire from like Stackhouse. I don't think they'd hire from
No, I was gonna say, what's his name? Coaches the Knicks now, because that would have been who's a Kings coach, who won Coach of the Year.
Oh, Brown, Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. Yeah, Mike Brown. Brown it's a Warriors guy, but like he's not gonna come now, so it doesn't matter. Like, but like it, I don't hate it. I'm
just saying it's completely irrelevant to this. Yeah. But I don't know. I was just thinking it is a fun conversation.
No, I like it. It's interesting though these days. I wonder.
I feel like we're gonna get the wave. We're due for weird, like, take a shot NBA coaches.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys who will totally bounce. Like if they had the. I mean, Hurley was this close, I think what happened was Hurley wanted to go to the Lakers and they picked JJ. Like that's my perspective of it. And like
Yeah, it seemed like it
he,
wasn't,
yeah.
but it seemed like
So like
Golden and Golden State would be um, a kind of
Golden
perfect
State.
marriage there. Yeah, go exactly. He plays right there.
It's too good to be true.
And then like the Warriors' job has to be. I mean, I guess they're on the downhills of franchises. Steph winds down, but it's still one of the top franchises.
Yeah.
In
If
the
you're a
country,
college
so
coach and you're
it's a
like,
great
I take
job.
an NBA job and I can have Steph Curry for 2 years, I'm sure that's a
Yeah,
top
and Curry
top
still got
opportunity.
yeah.
He's not the problem. I mean, we could do a Warriors pod one day because they got that
Yeah, I
kind of
know.
issues, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying like Todd Golden
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah,
Book
because
it.
I will say I don't know. I mean, it really could get rough for Florida, and like I don't just say that to say that. It's like I think a lot. I mean, everyone probably thought they were just going to beat TCU, and then they were going to beat whoever
They
else
did.
they played in the
14 point
children's.
favorite.
Yeah, plus 750 TCU. Yeah, dude, they're at Cameron.
Look, I'm gonna be a Florida fan the rest of the year. I want this win to look
Yeah,
as good as
good
possible.
point.
So these next games against Duke and UConn, I'm gonna be rolling
You're
for
gonna be
the.
stoked.
I hope.
hope.
Yeah, I hope Condon's fine. He didn't play today for Providence, so that's gonna be a big thing to watch the next couple weeks. But Florida's a very interesting team right now because they like dominated Miami in that game, and they have a double-digit win over Providence, and those are like good wins, and they beat Florida State as well. So those are good wins, but and their one elite opportunity versus Arizona, they blew it, and then yeah, as much as I love TCU, losing to TCU is a bad loss for them. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see how
crazy.
they respond. It could
And
be
I
similar
think-
to a UConn where it's like defending champs and these guard transfers that you brought in, like to replace like your Tristan Newton
Right.
and your Cam Spencer and these guys in Xavier Lee and Boogie Flynn or like an Aiden Mahaney and whoever else they brought in last year for UConn, and it just doesn't work. Like I don't think it's gonna fall to that level, but they're just in a very interesting spot.
Yeah, 100%. All right, I want to talk about one more team that has a couple losses against a couple good teams that they've played so far this year, and that's Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois obviously comes into the season with a lot of hype, probably right there with Michigan. It's kind of the second level of the Big Ten after Purdue going into the year, but you know they go up against UConn at MSG today, and they really were never in that game. That also accounts for a loss they had earlier in the season to Alabama and Chicago. And while they have beaten all the teams they were supposed to, including a win over Texas Tech, which
Heck, yeah.
felt impressive, but right, we're not necessarily certain about Tech at the moment. I don't know where are we at with Illinois. What do we think their level is? Is this still a contender in the Big Ten, or should we readjust our expectations?
I mean, they're exactly where, at least I thought they would be, and I think most people they're not as good as Bama and UConn, especially when UConn brought all their guys back for this one, and Hurley wasn't having them eat the tryptophan the day before. But they're a better team than Texas Tech, so they're honestly right slotted where I think they're in, I don't think they're a Final Four contender or anything, or even a Big Ten contender for that matter, but they're a solid team. And look, these next 4 games are big, and they're starting the first 2 against the mid-range slate with Tennessee and Ohio. It'll be interesting because we're gonna again similar to other teams we talked about, we're gonna find a lot more about them fast. So they're a good team. I think hold out and wait to see. It seems like Tommy Slev has finally gotten his foot under, and I love Boswell. And he's been amazing. Again, I think I keep saying this, probably top. He's up there with guards in the Big Ten, which is saying something because the Big Ten's loaded with great guards. So yeah, I like him. Again, yeah, don't love him as a Elite Eight or Final Four team, but they're good, not great.
Yeah. You mentioned Ohio State. Huge fucking bucket. I'm already buying him to go up over Pitt with like 3 seconds left. So I'm sorry. I was a
Let's
little distracted.
go.
But
No, I understand.
it's fucking great. They need to win this game. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think Illinois is dead. Obviously, I mean they're 6-2, and their only losses are against UConn and Alabama. You know, it's kind of like is what it is. But like Alabama is a great team. Like they are gonna win a lot of games this season, but they are probably around that 10 to 12 mark, 8 to 12 mark, maybe. Illinois, I think, is probably slotting in my head down closer to 15 to 20. And I guess, like, it just seemed like Illinois, especially after that win against Texas Tech, it was like, oh, man, this team might have some juice. Like, and they still do, but I'm definitely a little hesitant to get super excited. I do think, you know, you go play UConn at MSG, that's tough, but that's also a great opportunity to show everything that you can. And Boswell totally did, and you've been on his bandwagon since the beginning of the season. But, like, Stojakovic, 24 minutes,
Yeah.
1 of 7, 3 points. Like,
And he was like, Hurley was putting him in a blender. And I'll talk for a minute while this possession takes place. Actually, let's just stop. Oh, fuck. Wow.
oh, you're kidding.
Wow.
Pitt, I'm not sure who was it?
Witherspoon? What's his name? Yeah.
Half court shot to win the game. Fuck me, dude. God damn it.
Yeah, that was a. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's brutal. Okay. That's all right. Well, Ohio State dropped to
listeners-
6-1.
Yeah. For listeners, Miner hit probably a 40-footer for
Yeah.
the Pitt win and maybe the buzzer beater of the year so far. Crazy. That was actually good defense by Bruce too.
Wow.
That's gut wrenching. That's a
nuts.
bad. That's a crazy
nuts.
shot. It was
All
wet.
Holy shit.
Wow. I mean, it's at Pitt, so in the grand scheme of things, it's. I'll say that right now, but. Do we want to talk the game?
Doc Ohio State Pitt.
Yeah, do you want to get it out?
Instant reaction.
Instant reaction?
Instant reaction is Ohio State has played 2 Power 5 teams this season, and they've gone down to the last second with both of them, and neither of them are exactly top-tier contenders. And they should, if they want to be a team that can contend in a Big Ten that's very competent, or a team that should be a at-large bid in the tournament, they should be winning these games. Probably by more than 1 point or 2 points. And while it looked like they got their bucket to win it here, they left it open. And that's a big win for Pitt, who lost to Quinnipiac or like a week ago.
Quinnipiac and UCF back to back.
That sucks. It is what it is, you know. That sucks. That really sucks. That's an incredible shot.
That was unreal. That was.
I mean, that's just an incredible shot. And Ohio State should never
see
be in
that.
this position, but that's an incredible shot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Sports Center top 1. That's gonna be on replay on TV.
That's
tonight,
Harvard.
for sure. Yeah, but Ohio State, as great as they are,
that?
as great as Thornton is, they do need more competence from outside of the elite players on the team. Tilly's been great overall. He's injured, I believe, but tonight he goes 1 of 8 from the field, and that's just not going to cut it for your big guy. Devin Royal was great tonight. Thornton was great tonight. Bynum was great tonight. Mobley went out in the first half with an injury, which sucks. But he really wasn't playing that great, and he really hasn't been that great, so I don't think that's fair to call it a difference maker. But, yeah, I mean, credit to, who's it, DeMarco Minor?
Yeah.
Credit to DeMarco Minor. WCC product.
Sorry, that's bad timing.
Oregon State.
Yeah.
That was an incredible shot. Yeah, that sucks. Whatever.
That was nuts.
Whatever. And, yeah. I would have rather they lost by 10 at that point. That's what it's around. Whatever.
Bad mojo for tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's all right. Well. You want me to go back to talking about Illinois? Is that where we're on?
0-2 against Pitt in the last 2 is not great.
Yeah. They show the cutting to the 1-point win in Columbus last season right before that. It's dirty work from ESPN.
Yeah, our points differential against Pitt is 2 points in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that sucks. I mean, that's a win. That's a college basketball. That sucks. That sucks. That fucking sucks. Whatever. Is what it is. But yeah, go back to talking about Illinois. Let's talk.
You'll have a chance to beat. The schedule heats up.
Yeah, I know. That's why this was really an important win. Yeah, you got Northwestern next Saturday and then Illinois the following Tuesday. Those are big games. Illinois and Columbus. I will probably be in attendance. That's going to be an important one. You got to win. No, you don't have to win. But you got to look competent in that game. And if they win, then who cares that they just lost to Pitt on a buzzer beater?
Exactly. I lost to New Orleans, and I feel
True.
great.
Yeah. Too bad we weren't on the pod when they lost to fucking New Orleans.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate. Yeah, Illinois is putting a blender by Dan Hurley today.
They were.
He exposed Stojakovic. Stojakovic's defense is an issue. Like they were like his DHOs and running Caravan off these screens, and I don't know. It was a masterclass by Hurley to take advantage of Stojakovic's defense and kind of expose Illinois for its weaknesses, and especially once Terrace Reed and Braylon Mullins get more healthy, UConn's going to be dangerous if Hurley's scheming like that.
Definitely.
So at least the book is open on how to beat Illinois. You run mode without all these screens.
Yeah.
DHOs.
Exactly. And you know if yeah. Oh god. Yeah. That sucks. All right. Yeah, fair play. Illinois. Not great. It's all right. This game doesn't matter because we're going to beat Illinois in 2 weeks, so it's fine. Not even worried about it. Lost to Pitt on a buzzer beater from half court. Played 2 Power 5 teams. Beat the first one by 1 point. Lost to the second one by 1 point. Neither of them are tournament teams, so that's not great. But is what it is. Oh my god, that's fucking crazy. What an incredible like high and low from our teams on this podcast. This is like an ultimate.
That's why you tune into the mid range.
This is. This might be the most roller coaster episode of the mid range to come out yet. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about from Feast Week off the top of your head? I'm in a little bit of a blender now.
Yeah. I think we kind of hit the big things. I mean, Vandy's really good team to be on.
They are.
Ran through Atlantis. And are physical and talented, and Mark Byington's a very good head coach. So I guess watch them as SEC. But I honestly think that's a kind of a
wins
good
over
moment.
VCU, St. Mary's, UCF, WKU, who's been good.
Yeah. But I honestly think that's a good moment as a kind of wrap up.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Michigan. Thoughts for tomorrow? Let's throw another clip in the stratosphere.
Yeah. Buckeyes by 40. It won't be close.
By
Ohio
4?
State's going to win. 40.
40. I like it.
Yeah, Ohio State's going to kill them. I'm done. I don't even, because if you were to look at the game from if it were any other game, what would you say to yourself? You'd be like, this Ohio State team's going to kill this team.
Oh, of course.
So why would I think of it any other way? We're going to kill this team.
Of course.
I'm sure
there's
there'll
no
be
reason why you think of it any other way.
Yeah,
There's no reason.
Exactly. There's never been any sort of similar situations where they've disappointed. But no, they're going to be extra motivated. They're going to be extra motivated after the loss to Pitt, for sure. So credit to them. I genuinely, bottom of my heart, I think Ohio State's gonna win. And I think they should win handedly. And the only thing that's holding me back.
Sorry.
It's okay.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah,
You're 33 in Ken Palm.
that's pretty good.
I know. I'd kill to be a
Where's
33 in Ken Palm. They're
100.
they're 92.
Yeah.
They moved up 6
33
spots.
33 is not the end of the world. No, Ohio. I don't even care about that, what just happened when I just watched Ohio State, Michigan tomorrow. It's the game. It's the biggest game of the season in college football, period. It's the biggest rivalry in sports, period. Ohio State's going to beat Michigan's ass. Fuck Michigan. Useless state, useless school. And I'm damn excited to watch Julian Sand play his first game against Michigan. And that's going to be the difference maker. And he's going to throw for 400 yards. He's going to win the Heisman.
Hell yeah. We're going to be dominating Fox tomorrow. Your game is going to roll right into the battle for 8-4 at TCU Cincinnati.
Oh, there you go. I couldn't believe JD picked TCU. He picks Cincinnati every week.
Yeah, I know.
Homer.
The ratings for TCU are going to be insane because everybody's going to
because it's coming off OSU.
It's going to be the greatest TCU Cincinnati battle for 8-4 of all time.
Oh man,
Greatest game of all time.
Well, appreciate everyone listening to the pod. This was the mid-range at the mid-range CBB on all platforms. I hope you enjoyed Nick's excitement for a major comeback for TCU, and I hope you enjoyed my anguish after a buzzer-beating loss for Ohio State. Nick, any notes before we hop off here?
Go Frogs. Go Buckeyes.
All right.
Let's beat them by 40
Frogs. Go Buckeyes, and thank you everybody for listening. Bye.